Back in the 12th and 13th century, the Benin Kingdom was at the height of its glory. It has been established as the most influential kingdom in the region that created a civilization whose marks we see even today. One of the kings of this kingdom had two sons, and one of them was to succeed him, becoming the Oba, or king, of the Benin Empire. Among these two sons, one was so powerful and strong warrior that he could uproot palm trees from the forests with his bare hands and use them to sweep his father's compound. That's why we see a statue of this gigantic warrior in modern-day Nigeria holding a palm tree in his hands. But did he exist in reality, and was his height and body no less than a standing mountain? Welcome to a new episode of Black Africa Diary, a channel where we talk about Black African history, culture, arts, and civilization. It's a place where you will see the real picture of Black Africa, its stories, and the events defining it. In this episode, we will tell you about the shocking story of the gigantic prince of the Benin Kingdom, who could easily uproot palm trees with his bare hands. Let's get started. Oba Oola ruled the Benin Kingdom from 1483 to 1514 AD, representing a crucial period in the annals of the Benin Kingdom, characterized by military prowess, political intrigue, and cultural advancement. As the 14th Oba of Benin, Oola inherited an empire grappling with internal turmoil and external pressures, yet he managed to carve out a lasting legacy through shrewd leadership and military triumphs. Upon ascending the throne, Oola faced the daunting task of navigating a kingdom in transition. His predecessor, Oba Oola the Great, had laid a robust groundwork for expansion and centralization of authority. Nevertheless, Oola was confronted with the formidable challenge of preserving and augmenting his father's accomplishments. Military supremacy emerged as a defining characteristic of Oola's reign. Inheriting a disciplined army, he promptly deployed it to assert Benin's dominance in the region. Under his command, the Benin Kingdom embarked on numerous military expeditions aimed at subjugating neighboring territories and extending its sphere of influence. Oola's military campaigns were distinguished by meticulous planning, strategic acumen, and overwhelming might. Employing a combination of diplomacy, coercion, and military prowess, Oola expanded the kingdom's frontiers, consolidating control over vast swaths of territory and cementing Benin's stature as a regional powerhouse. Central to Oola's military doctrine was an emphasis on discipline, training, and innovation, introducing new weaponry and tactics, including firearms procured through trade with European merchants. Oola modernized the Benin army, endowing it with a decisive edge over adversaries and ensuring success on the battlefield. Oola also emerged as a patron of the arts and culture, fostering a vibrant intellectual and artistic community within the Benin Kingdom. Supporting the creation of bronze sculptures, textiles, and various other forms of artistic expression, Oola celebrated Benin's rich cultural heritage and elevated its prestige on the world stage. However, nothing could be counted if Oola could not give a strong and powerful heir who could not only preserve the glory of the Benin Kingdom, but grow it further. That's when good news was heard in the confines of the royal court. One day, the kingdom witnessed the births of two princes, sons of Oba Oola's two wives, Oloy Idia and Oloy Ohanmi, occurring on the very same day. In the morning, Oloy Ohanmi gave birth to the eldest son, bestowed with the name Idubor, affectionately referred to as Arwanran. Later that day, Oloy Idia delivered her son named Osawe, who would later ascend to the throne as Oba Esiji. However, the saga began with a twist upon Idubor's birth. Unlike his brother Osawe, Idubor failed to cry upon entering the world. In the customs of the time, a silent newborn was deemed unfit for immediate announcement to the monarch. However, Queen Idia's newborn promptly voiced his arrival, prompting immediate notification to Oba Oola. Consequently, Oola proclaimed him his primary heir, relegating Idubor to a secondary status. Now the kingdom was witnessing something unusual. The elder son of Oba Oola was bypassed and not given the primary stage in being the successor of the king. He was not deemed the successor. Rather, his younger brother had got that right from him. As Idubor matured, bitterness brewed within him over his predicament, frequently questioning his mother about his true lineage and the injustice of losing his rightful claim. Despite these tribulations, Idubor, known as Arwanran, blossomed into a formidable individual. Legend has it that he possessed extraordinary strength, capable of uprooting palm trees with bare hands and wielding them with ease. However, an alternate version of the narrative introduces a layer of complexity. It proposes that Idubor and Osawe were not the eldest sons of Oba Oola. Rather, they had an elder sibling named Ogidigbo, who had become crippled after a combat contest with his brother. Ogidigbo's impairment rendered him ineligible for succession, prompting speculation among citizens regarding Oloi Idia's involvement, alleging her utilization of mystical powers to secure Osawe's ascension to the throne. Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black Africa. Let's continue now. Before his passing in 1504, Oba Oola took preemptive measures to forestall potential discord among his heirs. He allocated dukedoms to each, designating Arwanran as the Duke of Udo, a locale adjacent to Benin. Notably, Arwanran remained conscious of Idia's purported role in Ogidigbo's misfortune, stoking his enmity towards his sibling Osawe, subsequently Oba Esigie, to the extent of contemplating assassination. Perhaps it was natural. Seeing from Arwanran's perspective, the mother of Osawe was involved in Ogidigbo's misfortune, and she also was the reason why he did not become the successor. Therefore, his plans to confront and replace Osawe seemed justifiable for him. Arwanran, celebrated as a warrior and conqueror of the formidable town of Okomwu, possessed physical prowess surpassing his brother Esigie's. Despite Esigie's education at a Portuguese mission school, Arwanran's stature and strength rendered him a formidable adversary. Nevertheless, his attempts at Esigie's life were thwarted by Idia's reputed proficiency in the arcane arts, presenting Arwanran with an insurmountable hurdle to overcome. Now, the rivalry between Arwanran and his brother, Oba Esigie, was at the center. Their simultaneous births to their respective mothers, Oloi Ohonmi and Oloi Idia, laid the groundwork for a succession dispute fueled by questions of legitimacy and power. As Idubor, or Arwanran, grappled with his perceived loss of status and birthright, his bitterness toward his father and brother simmered beneath the surface. Despite his renowned strength and stature as a warrior, he sought validation and retribution, leading him to explore supernatural avenues to gain an edge over his adversaries. Arwanran's decision to seek instruction in black magic from the sorceress Ianuroho underscored his acknowledgement of the formidable spiritual protection wielded by Idia, his brother's mother. By engaging in the dark arts, Arwanran aimed to balance the scales, using mystical powers to counteract his maternal adversary's influence and secure his own dominance. Meanwhile, Oba Esigie's upbringing differed from his brother's, as he pursued education at a Portuguese missionary school rather than participating in martial activities with his father. This divergence in their experiences likely contributed to Esigie's perceived lack of combat prowess, potentially leaving him vulnerable to Arwanran's schemes. Tensions between the brothers reached a boiling point when Arwanran, unwilling to accept a subordinate role, sought to assert his authority by attempting to establish Udo as the capital of the Benin kingdom. This bold move challenged Esigie's sovereignty, sparking a conflict that would test the bonds of brotherhood and loyalty. The ensuing war between Udo and the Benin kingdom unfolded by taking advantage of strategic maneuvering and tactical advantage. Arwanran's brother decided to exploit Arwanran's vulnerabilities during the planting season, because he knew most of the soldiers Arwanra had were farmers. They would be busy farming, and it gave Esigie a leverage. Amidst the chaos of battle, Arwanran's household faced its own trials, particularly the loss of Kapamabira, his son and heir apparent. This setback dealt a severe blow to the family's prospects, leaving Oni as the sole surviving heir tasked with upholding the family legacy. As the conflict reached its climax, Arwanran encountered a mysterious warrior bearing his own likeness. He killed him later to find that he was his son, Oni. Arwanran had remained unaware of his son's covert participation in the war, which fueled his anger and sorrow as he intensified his attack on his brother's army, leading to a stalemate on the battlefield. Despite his efforts to swiftly return home, Arwanran's endeavor was thwarted by the passage of time, exacerbating his predicament. Meanwhile, the tolling of a magical bell signaled to the people of Udo that Oba Esigie had emerged victorious, deepening the sense of tragedy. The perceived defeat drove Arwanran's wife to a rash decision as she tragically ended her life by plunging into a nearby river near Odigi Lake. Upon Arwanran's return, the heartbreaking reality of his wife's demise compounded his grief, adding to the anguish of losing his sons. It is believed that, consumed by despair, Arwanran chose to join his loved ones in death, opting to end his life in the lake rather than face the shame of capture. Before his final act, he left his ivy, a symbol of authority, hanging from a tree branch as a testament to his reign. Meanwhile, Oba Oola, in a moment of joy, adorned himself with his late brother's necklace, only to suffer a sudden mental disorientation that persisted even after its removal, leaving him dejected. In an effort to restore the Oba's well-being, Idia sought the help of a Yoruba Babalawo from Ugbo, who successfully healed the Oba. Grateful for the intervention, Idia persuaded the healer to settle permanently in Benin, ensuring his ongoing service to Oba Oola. The Yoruba mystic agreed to stay in Benin, establishing his residence in Ogbalaka quarters, where his descendants thrived. Meanwhile, in Udo, the belief persisted that Arwanran did not perish in the lake, but emerged at night to protect his people. Arwanran's appearances previously coincided with the cries of infants throughout Udo town, prompting spiritual appeals for relief. Through rituals, the cries ceased whenever Arwanran emerged from the lake, bringing peace to the community. The river where Arwanran's wife ended her life lies opposite the lake, with an annual convergence at the site of Arwanran's purported demise. The lake remains sacred, with strict prohibitions against contact or consumption. Legend tells of an incident in 1955 when a young boy's actions near the lake provoked a thunderous voice and sudden illness, reinforcing the belief in Arwanran's continued presence, perpetuating his legacy in Udo. Another legend has it that despite facing defeat, the Iyase of Udo and his troops persisted in their offensive endeavors. Following yet another setback, the people of Udo opted to establish Ondo town within Yoruba territory. With Idia's assistance in rallying an army around Oola, he emerged victorious over Arwanran, becoming the 16th king of Benin. Meanwhile, Arwanran continued to govern Udo, situated approximately 20 miles from Benin. Upon assuming the role of Oba, Oola confronted the lingering cultural taboo surrounding his mother. During this period, Oola endeavored to abolish the practice of matricide, ultimately succeeding in preserving Idia's life. In recognition of her status, he reinstated Idia to the palace, bestowing upon her the title of Egwe Iyoba, Palace of the Queen Mother, establishing her as the first Iyoba. However, the condition of her salvation defined that Oola would never again have direct contact with his mother. Consequently, Benin tradition dictated that the Queen Mother could not engage in direct interaction with her son once he assumed the throne. In appreciation for her sacrifices, Oola created the position of Iyoba for his mother. Iyoba Idia wielded significant influence, ruling from Uselu as a hidden Oba, offering counsel and protection to her son. As Oola's authority expanded, Iyoba Idia continued to play a pivotal role, advising him and contributing to cultural and artistic developments within the kingdom. Notably, she participated in the Ida Battle of 1515 disguised as a man, securing victory alongside her son. Upon her passing in 1550, Oola mourned deeply but found solace in Alaba, his favored wife, whom Iyoba Idia had prepared to succeed her. To monumentalize his mother's diverse contributions, Oola commissioned the creation of the Iyoba mask, crafted from ivory to symbolize purity associated with Olokun, the god of the sea and wealth. The Iyoba held a prominent position within the royal court, with her own palace in Uselu, marking her as the first woman in Benin's history to wield such authority. Today, it becomes hard to judge whether Iyoba did right or wrong by helping his own son reach the throne in any way possible. Arwanran was bypassed, and this had led to a great battle, leading to his defeat. But to this day, African folktales remember him as one of the greatest warriors. He could submit to his younger brother and enjoy power and authority by appeasing him. However, he declined to do so and chose to fight and take back what was his. Because he was the elder son, he believed he had to take the throne by force. However, he did not have a figure like Iyoba on his side, who could teach him strategies on how to fight and rule the kingdom. He was most powerful, mainly because of his stalwart physique and height. But despite this, and despite being defeated, African folktales consider Arwanran as a hero. His statue stands tall in Nigeria, representing a Benin prince who chose to fight and die, instead of accepting defeat and getting captured. Did you know the story of Arwan, who showed how powerful African warriors could be? Do you think his height and body was as magnificent as described in folklores? In the comments section right below, share your thoughts on various accounts that report African princes and warriors used to be exceptionally tall and strong like mountains. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We bring videos on Black Africa, its history, rich arts and culture, and things the world should know about. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.